Yo, what's good, YouTube? We back with another banger. Today we got a video about the rise and fall of one of the most dangerous crews in the ATL. It's a 4PF documentary. We're gonna get right into this. It's a little bit of a longer video. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe right now, right below. It's free. I'll wait. All right, y'all, let's get right into this.
Like, we still can't kick it. The Henny get killed like, no, I can't sip it. You could get killed like it ain't no living. She hit my line like,
Kilo, you tripping.
she clocking my body.
All right, y'all. Killing for loyalty. Rise and fall of one of the most dangerous crews in the ATL.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Family TV back on the channel. Shout out to Family TV.
That nigga stop playing with us, man.
He said that shit like that. That's
Shit, this shit for real, man. Don't do it.
All of my niggas together, we came from the bottom, we used to weigh each other. None of my niggas gon' fold. Couple put on the day, big bro coming home, free Nate. He indicted.
Look at this video. Police say this man is a person of interest in the case. On September 27th, two people with bullet wounds showed up at Grady. While officers have not revealed many details about the investigation, they say the two people were hit in a shootout near Baker Street Northwest and William Street Northwest.
People play gangsta and police games at the same time. That shit is weird. That shit is weird.
To get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect.
And how are the numbers looking? We're landing at a strong 70
I don't care.
SPF.
Who she was not representing to hide evidence.
Finling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fagan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and two others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
Tonight, if you get in trouble with the law, serious stuff like violence, it'd be a good idea to obey traffic rules.
You just kept rolling on through. I made the right turn.
I was on the phone running my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm gonna get your first and last name.
Deontay William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house.
Growing up in the inner city, it's common to experience conflict in your own neighborhood. That often comes from the older generation not agreeing with the younger generation. And if your neighborhood a decent size, that can lead some tension within your own neighborhood. But more or less, you often develop relationships with people you hang out with every day, often tighter than those with people you don't know well. In this story, you see a little bit of both dynamics, but this narrative also demonstrates how one can become a product of their environment if they don't make a change. And sometimes those influences come from inside your home. Today we talk about a man from Atlanta, Georgia, who's from the same area as a household name rapper, Lil Baby, and also once affiliated with him, who recently received a 40-year prison sentence for his alleged involvement in street criminal gang activity and 2 murders. But the same man we talking about, who received 40 years in prison, his mom received a 20-year sentence in prison and was only home for 2.5 years before her son went in for 40. Repeated cycles and generational curses. And sometimes breaking them is not as easy as one might think.
40?
Some say this man we talking about was the reason why Finlucci had got a RICO with the alleged gang he was running with. Now the man we talking about was allegedly the man returning fire in his own neighborhood, according to authorities. But he wasn't charged. He was charged with 2 other shootings that led to murders, and another shooting that injured 3 in a nightclub protecting Lil Baby. Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate, who happens to be from the same neighborhood as the Atlanta rap star Lil Baby. They from a neighborhood called Lil Cali, known as the West End in Atlanta, Georgia, located in the Oakland City neighborhood. And the reason people are putting 2 and 2 with why Finlucci is because he was indicted primarily because of the murder of his friend, being killed after they did a drive-by in Atlanta, Georgia, after having returned fire on him. He was shot in the head. Moments later, he was dumped out of a vehicle, which now we know was why Finlucci white Maybach, after they showed it in evidence during his trial before accepting the plea.
Atlanta 911 for the C679.
Evidence during his trial.
Look at the little kid run out the... Can't be doing stuff like this, bro.
Atlanta 911 for the C679 was the address of the emergency.
We need an ambulance. Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
Huh? He's still trying to fight for his life.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Baby, can y'all please get an ambulance here? This man is dying. He's shot in the head. He just took his last breath, man.
What street are you on, ma'am? Can you give him your location, please, for the ambulance to give the guy some help?
Y'all know with an AK. You see the K, boy?
Man, this man just took his last breath, man.
Man, we have help on the way already. Tell me exactly what happened.
We don't know. Me and my sister, we were just walking down the street, and somebody just rolled down the street with a man hanging out the car. They just pushed him out the truck and left him for dead.
Ma'am, I thought you said he was shot in the head.
Yes, he is shot in the head. They threw him out the car. He just died. He just took his last breath.
We have the ambulance already on the way, okay?
Okay.
And can you tell me what kind of vehicle?
Listen, you go ahead and get fire and PD and right on.
Can you tell me what kind of vehicle he was stolen from, please?
White.
A white car, truck, or SUV?
SUV.
What direction did the SUV go?
Yes, his whole body was just hanging out the car.
Listen, just stay on the phone. Can you tell me if you saw any of the people that were driving the car, whether they adults or kids?
No, I didn't see the people because they were driving real fast. And we seen
All right.
On Peoples Street, a man found shot in the street later died at the hospital.
Now, as mentioned, the man who was allegedly responsible for the return fire was never charged. Instead, he received a 40-year sentence on unrelated charges, including 2 murders. This is why the public never found out who was responsible.
So they dumped out the Maybach, and I guess one of them right here shot back a hit, and they just dumped their boy out the.
For a moment that was cemented in hip-hop culture. Today we talk about who this man is, his upbringing in Georgia, his alleged gang involvement, his childhood friends that turned into his crew, his run-ins with the law, his recent indictment in full details, right down to the informant. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. Born in July of 1991, now 33 years old, Nathan Benford, also known as 4PF Nate. The Atlanta native grew up playing football at multiple schools, received a scholarship to play at Troy University in Alabama. That was in the year of 2010. But 4PF Nate's upbringing wasn't all peaches and cream. He was one of 7 siblings. He had to navigate life without financial support and much love from a distance. His mother served 17 years of her 20-year sentence for moving narcotics. She was released in 2020. Her name was Karen Davis. The married mother of 7 was sentenced on July 22nd, 2003. 4PF Nate was only 12 years old at the time. Here are some pictures with him, his mom, and his siblings. 4PF Nate's mom was charged with conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute 50 grams or more of C, use of a telephone to facilitate commission of conspiracy to distribute C, and Mary Jane. And it was hard on her, because her priors, she had possession of M, simple assault, and selling and delivering C. But 4PF Nate's mom's story was similar to his. She was exposed to the drug dealing business at her early teens by her uncle, according to her. And by the time she was in her early 20s, she was further in the business with her husband. She said she would sometimes transport the drugs to complete their deals, but she wasn't happy about their way of living. By the time she was 25 years old, her husband was sent to prison for 3 years, and according to her, left her at home with 5 boys to support. She said she eventually started back with family to make money to support her kids and make ends meet. She said at the end of the day, her uncle was the first person to call her to take a plea, asking me to admit to things I knew were lies, end quote. She said she wasn't informed enough to know to take a plea, and it was withdrawn. She went to a speedy trial and was portrayed as a leader, which is far from accurate, according to her. She said she received enhancements for priors and eventually sentenced to 20 years in prison. As mentioned, she only did 17 and was released in 2020. But by the time she was released, she had a son, according to his recent indictment, was known in the streets for doing the same thing as her, moving work, also known as 4PF Nate, the guy who's affiliated with one of the biggest rappers coming out of Atlanta, Lil Baby. But 2 years before Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate mom, would come home, he was 28 years old, and he would get arrested in March of 2018 by Athens Clarke County Police on charges of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a crime in connection with the shooting that occurred October 1st, 2017 in Club Vietnam on Commerce Road, in which 3 people were injured, one seriously. A man was shot once in the chest. Another man shoulder was grazed by a bullet during the shoot. According to the police, they said a third man was injured when he fell and was stumped. But at that time, police ain't say whether 4PF Nate, who was a resident of Decatur, had fired a gun in the incident. He was subsequently released on a $7,350 security bond. He was only charged with reckless conduct for endangering others. So for lack of better terms, he managed to escape. But this wasn't 4PF Nate's first run-in with the law in 2018. Now the reason 4PF Nate didn't pursue his football career, because he couldn't. His scholarship was stripped when he was arrested in December 16th, 2009. Apparently he robbed the church's chicken with the defendant who would later play key to his newest indictment, Cavario Major, and another individual. 4PF Nate pointed a gun at the restaurant customers, telling them to don't move, while his co-conspirators emptied the cash register and safe.
It's not what's under the tree that matters.
Bro, a certified crash out.
It's who's around him.
Cavario acted as the getaway driver. All 3 was arrested after a traffic stop. 4PF Nate later pleaded guilty to robbery and received the first offender sentence with 5 years of imprisonment. He was arrested shortly after he was released on July 24, 2014. 4PF Nate was pulled over in Gordon County in his rental vehicle with a female passenger. After getting a traffic stop, it revealed 60 grams of Mary Jane in the center console. He accepted full responsibility. 4PF Nate had pled guilty and received a conditioned discharge sentence. But then he got arrested 2 years later. On December 30th, 2016, officers attempt another traffic stop on a vehicle driven by Hampton, displaying stolen temporary tags. After refusing to stop and later losing control of the vehicle, defendant Hampton fled on foot along with 2 other passengers. Further investigation confirmed the vehicle had been stolen from a car dealership. The state did not proffer or tender the final deposition of the arrest as part of the record, and the defendant Hampton is identified as Jamel Keith Hampton, who's also another co-defendant in 4PF's Nate new indictment. Now it's also to be noted, as a juvenile, he was convicted of robbing someone as well. 3 people was in a car. After smoking, they just robbed him and pointed a firearm and made him drive to an undisclosed location. But 4PF Nate's last arrest would be his final arrest. 2023, he was arrested with 3 other co-defendants. All 3 had prior history with getting arrested with 4PF Nate since 2008 that we just mentioned. But this time his mom been home for a little more than 2 years. But for the very first time, 4PF Nate would be hit with murder. Not once, but twice, not to mention gang activity. And one of the murders was allegedly get back for the demise of his best friend. His best friend was identified as a man named Cavario Major, aka 4PF Mackie, a inspiring rapper who was seen with Lil Baby on a number of occasions. And even Lil Baby had posted being at his funeral service.
I reached last street, man, can't forget nothing. You know what I'm saying? On my 1271 shit, man. On that last shit, man. I don't live low.
You like easy? Uh-oh.
That's a piece of bone.
On November 1st, 2021, Cavario, aka 4PF Mackie, had lost his life in his neighborhood to a man named Daryl Hurd. Apparently it was self-defense, so Daryl was never charged, but instead it was retaliation against him from 4PF.
It has been a deadly night across Atlanta as police are investigating 3 separate shootings. The latest.
It's like all this shooting stuff, bro. One person gets shot. They gotta get back. They get the get back. Then they gotta get back for the get back. So the other side get they get back. It's like a never ending cycle. Like people don't realize that. And then don't let Don't let Lil Baby get caught up in the littlest bit of it. There's going to be a whole RICO. You know how they be in Atlanta with them RICOs, man. It's going to be a whole RICO case. Come on now. Y'all got to realize y'all can make it out of this. You don't got to.
It's happening on Fulton Street. This is between downtown and the West End. Someone shot and killed a person around 8 o'clock tonight. An hour before that, police officers dispatched to Newtown Circle for a call of a shooting there. This is also being investigated as a homicide. And about an hour before that, around 7 o'clock on White Oak Avenue Southeast, this appears to have been a shooting, a fight that started between two men. Police say the suspect pulled a gun out and shot the victim. Right now, police don't have a suspect.
But shortly after Cavario had lost his life and retaliation was committed, May 16, 2023, the state of Georgia had an indictment for 4 alleged members of 4PF. Nathan Benford, a.k.a. 4PF Nate, Keontae Davis, Keith Jamel Hampton, Quincy Rashid Pinky. Now, all 4 was arrested during different times, and one of them gave authorities information out the gate. The only person who had a bond, and the person who cooperated, was Keontae Davis. This was his first time getting in trouble with the law, September 27, 2022, where a witness saw Javarius Wilson, the victim who was shot and killed, as he rode in the SUV downtown Atlanta, and another passenger in the SUV was shot but survived. The witness saw the suspect vehicle open fire on Wilson's vehicle. He called 911 immediately upon seeing the crime and spoke to lead detective investigating the murder. The witness described the shooter in the case and his statement to law enforcement helped solve the case, as well as the cooperation of Keontae Davis. This incident was caught on camera, and according to Keontae, 4PF Nate was also in that vehicle that belonged to the suspect.
So he just snitched.
It was a
That's
drug
crazy.
deal gone bad.
Tonight, this man that you see on your screen is now in custody in connection to a murder from last fall. Keontae Davis is accused of shooting 2 people on September 27th. The 2 victims were dropped off at Grady Hospital. One survived, the other did not. Davis is now charged with aggravated assault and murder.
And even though Keontae Davis was talking to prosecutors, he was apprehended by mistake, or at least for his warrant for his indictment. He was arrested on a traffic violation, driving his mother's vehicle.
Checking on you on Marietta Boulevard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Officer Lane, City of Atlanta Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because right there at the light at Piedmont and Peachtree, is stop means stop. That means all wheels got to stop. You didn't stop. You just kept rolling on through and made the right turn.
I was on the phone running my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm going get your first and last name.
Keontae William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house. Something happened over there. Here you go. Yeah, I was on the phone running my mouth. I'm sorry.
Zoom into the picture so I can see the numbers?
Yes, sir.
Got to zoom.
05.
I'm good.
89 70949. I just left from the gas station right there. I was on the airport running my mouth.
All right. All right.
I live right there at the science.
All right.
Okay.
White Prius, 3141, T-Mark 1 time.
All right. So maybe cut the car off for me. All right. So you know you got a warrant, right?
No, sir.
All right. You got a warrant out of the city of Atlanta, okay, for aggravated assault. So I got to put you in a car. I'm gonna detain you, okay? Detain means just only holding you until time being, okay? You ain't in custody yet, all right? Until they confirm the warrant, all right? Step out of the car.
Resident 1201 and 1207.
My phone.
Put the phone in the seat.
1201. You can disregard.
You go by any other names? You didn't know you had a warrant out?
No, sir. 1206 and 1207. Copy. An audible alarm at 600 Peachtree Battle Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Northwest.
You got any weapons or anything on you?
600 Peachtree Battle Avenue. Just come up.
Now, while all this going down and people getting arrested for this indictment, a lawyer for one of the defendants, named Fegan Law, was representing Quincy Rashad Pinky.
The way she was talking earlier, I would not
was an
want her as my
attorney
lawyer.
for a co-defendant in the YSL trial as well.
Fegan, she is a very fine attorney.
seen her working. Miss Fagan.
For those who don't remember, she got arrested during that trial after the informant Keontae, who was in full PF Nate indictment, had told prosecutors that that attorney, who was also representing Pinky in the full PF Nate indictment, had contacted Keontae Davis to get rid of his cell phone because he had a warrant for his arrest for that murder.
Elements. Prosecutors are trying to get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect, who she was not representing, to hide evidence. Today, her attorney fought back, saying that conversation was still privileged. Channel 2's Tom Jones, live now in downtown Atlanta. Tom, this issue has now delayed the trial.
Yeah, that's right, George. The murder trial for 4 defendants was on the calendar here for Monday, but now that trial is on hold until the courts can determine if attorney Nicole Fagan will be disqualified. Her attorney says she shouldn't be disqualified, and he wants the charges dismissed.
She can't practice law.
Attorney Drew Finling says his client, fellow attorney Nicole Fagan, is suffering professionally after prosecutors charged her with participating in criminal street gang activity and criminal solicitation to commit tampering with evidence. Police say she told...
But you gotta think, too, they be getting, like, relationships with these people that they representing. And low-key, they really be wanting the best for them, but... You gotta remember, you a professional at some point.
Murder suspect Keontae Davis to get rid of evidence on his phone. Prosecutors say Fagan wasn't representing Davis and had no attorney-client privilege. Finling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fagan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and 2 others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
It's the state's position that Ms. Fagan would be disqualified.
Finling says he plans to file a motion to have the charges dismissed. The judge says if that doesn't happen,
she can't sit next to her client on Monday morning.
Finling repeatedly called out the DA's office for prosecuting an attorney who's representing someone they are trying to convict. He called it a constitutional breach. Meanwhile, the murder victim's father sat and watched it all unfold in court. Christopher Welch said he's not discouraged after the judge said the trial will be delayed until all of this can be worked out.
Justice is delayed, but we still going to push for justice.
And Fagan is also representing a defendant in the YSL case. The prosecutor said he couldn't say much in court about the case, Fagan's case, because the anti-corruption unit is handling it. The judge didn't say when the murder trial will start.
I'd like to know what happened with her.
We're live in downtown Atlanta. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
It's a lot to keep up with when it comes to food safety, but it's never been more important. Recalls can be expensive, and new regulations.
And shortly after that indictment was corrected on 8/15/2024, and fam, stay with me. This time you notice only 3 defendants. Keontae Davis wasn't on this indictment after his cooperation. And also, more detail was later given to authorities. Keontae mentioned he only gave the sweatshirt to full PF Nate before he went to the driving vehicle who did the shooting. And not to mention, apparently this drive-by shooting involved Daryl, the guy who shot Cavario in Lil Cali from self-defense a month and a half later. And now the police know that the 3 people that's in this indictment got get back for Cavario. According to the transcript, an unknown gunman inside a Dodge Durango had opened fire on a Chevrolet Tahoe occupied by 3 men as the Tahoe sat stationary at a red light in downtown Atlanta. The occupants of the Durango had fled the scene. Darrell Hurd and Javarius Wilson was shot. Wilson died as a result of a gunshot wound to his neck. Further investigation, including a cell phone record and nearby surveillance footage, revealed that multiple individuals acted in coordination beforehand. It alleged that 4PF Nate kept watch over 3 men from a nearby parked vehicle for about an hour before the shooting. They go on to say that 4PF Nate then drove to another parking lot where he met Defendant Hampton driving the Durango. Defendant Pinky, who had been dropped off by Defendant Davis in another car, approached the intersection with the co-defendants and other unidentified individuals, several of whom were wearing masks and gloves. 4PF Nate eventually entered the Durango along with several others and was the driver at the time of the shooting. Defendant Pinky followed the Durango in another vehicle to conceal the Durango tag and fled in tandem with the Durango after the shooting. And it's mentioned by the state, not me. They believe this homicide occurred in revenge for Daryl Harrell in killing Cavario back in November of 2021. Now, I know that was a laugh, man, but can you imagine everything I had to go through just to bring you guys this under 30 minutes? We're talking about a man who, it seemed, didn't have many opportunities from the start, didn't learn from the ones he loved the most, mistakes. Instead, capitalized on what they know, added what he could learn, and came up with 40 years. Only 2 years after his mom coming home from a 20-year sentence, serving 17 years. It's a very unfortunate situation. This was the man who got get back for the demise of his friend just months later. Now, you see where he at. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
That's tough, man. I just hope Lil Baby don't get involved in none of this nonsense, bro. But that 4PF name being attached to it is like they gonna look at him as the head honcho, you feel me? But yeah, that was that. Shout out to Family TV. Keep dropping them bangers, and I'm gonna keep tuning in. If y'all not subscribed, subscribe right now. And yeah. If you made it this far in the video, comment true. Comment true so I know you made it this far. True. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. I'm out of here. Peace.
Like, we still can't kick it. The Henny get killed like, no, I can't sip it. You could get killed like, it ain't no living. She hit my line like,
Kilo, you tripping.
She clocking my body. I can't put my trust in no thotty.